Sitting in the sterile, cold room of my doctor's office, I could feel the anxiety rise in my chest like a tidal wave. The nurse had just left after taking my blood pressure, and the look on her face had told me everything I needed to know. I was hypertensive, again, and the numbers were climbing. I remember the doctor entering with a clipboard, his eyes kind but serious. Another medication, another list of side effects that made my stomach churn. My heart sank as he explained the risks of continuing down this path. Stroke, heart attack, words that felt detached from reality but were intimately tied to my future. I nodded along, trying to absorb the information while pushing down the fear that bubbled up. Part of me was frustrated, angry even. How did it come to this? I thought I was doing everything right, or at least enough to get by. But denial is a strong companion. I often told myself that I was just getting older, that this was normal. Yet, the truth was undeniable now. The fear of not being there for my family, of not seeing my grandchildren grow up, outweighed my stubbornness. Leaving the doctor's office, I felt a cocktail of emotions. Shame at how I had ignored the signs, fear of what my future held, and frustration at my own body. I remember sitting in my car, hands gripping the steering wheel, tears threatening to spill over. It was a moment of clarity, raw and painful. Something had to change, but I didn't know what or how. But here's the thing about hitting rock bottom, it often becomes the foundation upon which we build something new. I wasn't ready to give up. I knew there had to be a way to manage my blood pressure without feeling like a prisoner to my prescriptions. And while I won't spoil the journey just yet, I can tell you that things did change, in ways I never imagined. If this feels like your story too, subscribe. What I'm about to share might shift something deep inside you. Every morning began with a ritual that felt more like a burden than a necessity. The pills, lined up like soldiers in a battle I hadn't signed up for, were a constant reminder of my fragile state. Swallowing them was easy, but digesting the reality of my condition was not. Fatigue clung to me like a shadow, sapping my energy and leaving me feeling like a ghost of my former self. It was as if an invisible weight pressed down on my chest, a relentless pressure that no one else seemed to see or understand. I moved through the day with a forced smile, hiding the fear that gnawed at me. The fear of complications, of a future where I might not be there for my family, wrapped around my thoughts like a suffocating fog. Conversations became a mask I wore, nodding and agreeing while my mind was elsewhere, consumed by the constant worry of what my next doctor's visit might reveal. There were moments when the facade cracked, moments when I found myself alone, breaking down in the solitude of my thoughts. The helplessness was overwhelming, like being swept away by a current with no shore in sight. It was during these times I felt truly isolated, as if no one could really comprehend the silent struggle I faced each day. I wanted to scream, to shake those around me into understanding, but instead, I remained silent, caught in a cycle of invisibility. No one seemed to understand what I was carrying, the invisible burden of hypertension that dictated my every move. It was a lonely battle, one I fought in the quiet corners of my mind, hoping for a change that felt elusive yet desperately needed. Is this my life now? The question echoed in her mind, a relentless reminder of the reality she faced each day. She felt trapped in a cycle of pills and prescriptions, each new routine a testament to a body she feared was failing her. There were moments in the quiet solitude of her room when she would whisper to herself, admitting a truth she dared not share with others. I'm scared I won't be here to see my children grow up. It was a fear that gnawed at her, a shadow that loomed over her dreams and hopes. She regretted not taking her health seriously sooner. The late nights and stress-filled days that seemed trivial then but now felt like bricks in the wall of her current predicament. The regret was a heavy burden, one she carried silently, masked by a brave face she presented to the world. But deep down, she knew something had to change. I just didn't know how. This awareness was like a gentle nudge, urging her to seek answers beyond the confines of her current routine. She realized that perhaps there was more to healing than just medication. Maybe it was about finding balance, reconnecting with herself, and rediscovering joy in the little things she had once overlooked. The road ahead was uncertain, but acknowledging the need for change was the first step toward a new beginning. Have you ever felt this way? If you're living something similar, share it below. We're not alone in this. One evening, while aimlessly scrolling through her phone, she stumbled upon an article that caught her eye. It spoke of simple lifestyle changes that could help manage hypertension. Intrigued, she read about the benefits of deep breathing exercises and the impact of a potassium-rich diet. Something about the simplicity of it resonated with her. It wasn't promising miracles, just small, manageable steps. She decided to give it a try, feeling a flicker of hope she hadn't felt in a long time. The next morning, she began her routine with 10 minutes of deep breathing, inhaling slowly, holding for a moment, then exhaling. She felt a strange sense of calm wash over her. It was as if, with each breath, she was releasing some of the tension that had been building up for years. She also started incorporating more fruits and vegetables into her meals, focusing on those rich in potassium, like bananas and leafy greens. It wasn't a drastic overhaul, but a gentle shift towards something better. As the days turned into weeks, she noticed subtle changes. Her energy levels seemed steadier, and her mood, while still cautious, had a new undercurrent of optimism. The fear that had once gripped her began to loosen its hold. She realized it wasn't just about lowering her blood pressure. It was about reclaiming a part of herself that had been lost in the struggle. There was a new softness in her interactions with her family, a willingness to laugh and engage without the overshadowing fear of what might happen. It was a fragile hope, like a delicate plant just starting to sprout, but it was real. She didn't know if these changes would be enough, but for the first time in a long time, she felt different, lighter, and that was something worth holding on to. One morning, as I wrapped the cuff around my arm, I braced myself for the usual disappointment. But today, the numbers surprised me. For the first time in years, my blood pressure was within the normal range. It felt like someone lifted a bag of bricks off my chest. I blinked at the monitor, half expecting it to change, but the numbers stayed steady. Tears welled in my eyes, a mix of disbelief and gratitude flooding through me. As days turned into weeks, the improvements became undeniable. The dizzy spells that once plagued my afternoons were now rare guests, and each night I found myself sinking into a deep, restorative sleep, waking up refreshed and clear-headed. The fog that had clouded my mind for so long was lifting, replaced by a clarity and focus I hadn't experienced in years. With each breath, every stretch, and the vibrant flavors of my new meals, I felt my body responding, healing. The world seemed brighter, colors more vivid, sounds more melodic. The laughter of my family, once a distant echo due to my preoccupation with my health, now resonated with warmth and joy. I was reconnecting, not just with them, but with myself. I marveled at how these simple changes, once daunting, had become the foundation of a new life. Each small victory, each moment of peace, was a testament to the power of perseverance and hope. The journey was far from over, but I was no longer walking it alone, buoyed by the support of my loved ones and the strength I discovered within. If this part of my story gave you hope, like this video. That simple click might bring this message to someone who needs it. The journey was not just about lowering numbers or following a routine. It was about reclaiming my spirit. The joy of waking up without dread, the simple pleasure of a shared laugh, and the peace of a clear mind became my treasures. In the stillness of the night, I often found myself smiling, a gentle acknowledgement of the battles fought and won. This journey taught me that healing is not just a destination but an ongoing embrace of self-love and acceptance. As I stood there, at peace, I knew I was finally home. As you embark on your own journey towards better health, remember that every small step you take counts. It may seem daunting at first, but know that you are not alone. I was once in your shoes, feeling overwhelmed by the weight of it all, yet here I am, healthier and happier. You deserve to feel safe in your body again, to wake up each day with energy and peace. Embrace the changes with an open heart, and be patient with yourself. Understand that this path is not about perfection, but about progress. Celebrate each victory, no matter how small, and let them fuel your determination. Surround yourself with people who uplift you, and remember to be your own biggest supporter. You are worthy of love, care, and respect, especially from yourself. I am still healing too. It's an ongoing path that I walk every day. Some days are easier than others, but each one teaches me something new about resilience and self-compassion. As a chapter closes in this journey, I find myself filled with gratitude and a profound sense of peace. Reflecting on how far I've come, I am reminded of the moments when simply taking a deep breath felt like an insurmountable task. Each small change was a beacon of hope in the fog of uncertainty, guiding me to a place of health and happiness. It's astonishing to think how something as simple as a routine can transform not just the body, but the soul. In this quiet space, where the rhythm of life feels gentle and kind, I stand with a heart open to what lies ahead. Remember, the path towards health is not just about the destination, but the meaningful steps we take along the way. Thanks for watching. Be part of our community by subscribing to this channel. Until the next video.